Greetings, Starfighters. Welcome to the first Shameless Cashgrab of 2021 for the movie Ghost Shark. Sorry I didn't get an episode out last month for January 2021, but it was January 2021. Yeah, I forget who it was who said on Twitter that 2021 is just going to be 23 2020s in a trench coat, but yeah. Anyway, Ghost Shark features noted character actor Richard Mall. I remember him most as Bull on Night Court, but I've seen him in a bunch of other things. Some I liked, some I haven't, but he's usually good in them at least, or entertaining. So, at least I'll get something out of this movie. So, let's go ahead and watch us some Ghost Shark. I don't know why I said it like that. That was silly of me. I'm going to be 39 years old when you see this video. That's a little old to be that silly. Or maybe not old enough. I don't know. What is linear time anymore?
Alrighty, and so I have now watched 2013's Ghost Shark. Plot summary, courtesy of Letterboxd. Last 4th of July, teenager Christy Bruce disappeared from a high school beach party. Her severed arm washed ashore a day later. Drunken sea captain Blaze Shaw became a hero to the small seaside community of Harmony after killing the great white shark that was deemed responsible. But the Christy Bruce murder was no shark attack. Blaze turns to ghost hunter Ava Conte, who is skeptical but intrigued by his ghost shark ramblings. With preparations for a massive July 4th celebration rapidly approaching, they soon find themselves embroiled in a conspiracy of sex and murder involving the town's wealthiest and most powerful citizens. Unprepared to contend with a ghost shark that can hunt on land, sea, as well as anywhere there is enough water or rain to sustain its phantom form, Blaze and Ava must uncover the truth about the town's dark past or fall victim to the ghost shark. The opening of the film has nothing to do with any of that. A little more on that later. Actually, I only just realized this as I started recording. Amongst other things, again, I'm going to get into this more a little later, but the town is not called Harmony. Getting ahead of myself. We open instead on some stereotypical Southerners on a boat trying to catch a big fish for a prize. When said fish gets eaten before it can be pulled into the boat by a shark, one of the men on the boat, the fisher himself, who is there with his daughter, as well as the owner of the boat, tries to shoot the shark. Yes, really. This feels like I'm watching a reenactment of a what the fuck is wrong with you segment. The daughter eventually kills the shark by throwing a grenade into its mouth. I have nothing to add to that. The shark becomes a ghost really quick at this point, as in, it manages to snag and eat the daughter while she's bragging about her kill into her camera. Points for not dragging out the appearance of the title character here. We haven't even hit the opening credits yet. The ghost shark gets the fisherman too, and eventually manages to eat the boat's owner as well, in a scene that simply but effectively establishes that the shark can appear anywhere there's even a little water. Nice use of show don't tell. And that's also one part that the summary got right. Anyway, we go from there to a beach party involving a bunch of generic white kids who I'm unfortunately certain are our main protagonists for the movie, being watched by Richard Mall's character from a small lighthouse. We follow him into the basement level of said tower, where we get hints that he's either a widower or lost a daughter recently, which has led to isolation and drinking and... I gotta say here, the acting is pretty good here. Might be a little too good for the kind of movie this is. Mall manages to convey a lot with no dialogue. We cut from this back to the beach party with some ominous music in the transition. Two of the girls in the group notice the boat from earlier in the movie adrift and with no one on it. Turns out it's their father's boat, their sister's, so they swim out to check on it. I don't think they've said any of these girls' names yet, but I'm willing to bet one of them is the Christy who gets eaten in the plot summary. Oh, never mind. Turns out to be the girl lounging on the floaty pool thing. What are those called? I feel like I should know this. I've been around swimming pools and lakes before. Whatever. Point is, she's the Christy who gets eaten. Except her name's not Christy. Yeah, spoiler alert, as this goes along, more and more of the Letterboxd plot summary turns out to be completely inaccurate. Also, the Ava from the plot description isn't a ghost hunter, or at least not yet. As the summary describes her, she's just one of the girls who saw the shark, and is certain her father was eaten by it. I definitely made a mistake in using that summary. But if nothing else, pointing out the inconsistencies can be a backup plan if this episode looks like it'll run short. Richard Mall re-enters the picture here, talking, finally, and it seems he's believed in ghosts for quite some time, and is also certain that this shark is punishment for what he calls the lies this town, the town is actually called Smallport, was built on. And his character is also referred to by a different name than the summary gave. And he's also not a sea captain. Okay, honestly, at this point so far, all they've gotten right is the ghost shark and Ava. Anyway, as expected, the local sheriff doesn't believe the witnesses who say the shark was translucent, and while he's kind of a dick about it, you can see where he's coming from here. He's not comically inept like I would have expected. In fact, it probably would have been unrealistic for him to just believe them at face value, especially with no video evidence. Some minor character stuff happens, then we get to a party that had been planned earlier as just a pool party thrown by the mayor's son, but is now doubling as a memorial service for the girl killed earlier. The shark appears out of the pool, eating a guy as he was doing a cannonball. Yeah, I think at this point, I should just stick to the plot stuff, because I get the feeling that the shark kills are going to start coming fast and furious, and if I list them all, it can end up taking up half the episode. Especially since what happens after the mayor sees video of said cannonballer being eaten, we get a montage of the ghost shark attacking a plumber, a bikini car wash, because of course this movie has one of those, and the slip and slide attack you might have seen an image of once or twice by this point. 3 of our leads go to the lighthouse to see Finch, that's Richard Mall's character, who I only just now decided to start referring to by his name because shut up, and he explains that a cave we'd seen the body of the dead shark from the opening of the film floated into is what made the ghost, and apparently it's done this sort of thing before, and the people in charge of the town knew about it and covered it up. Wow, that was a run-on sentence. That the people of the town covered up the cave, not the shark. That bit's, still ongoing. And that's really only the gist of what Finch says before he nearly passes out from being drunk. The shark then attacks Ava's sister in the bathtub, but she manages to survive, somehow, with just a bite mark on her leg. Not that I wanted to see her die, mind you, it's just the way the scene was filmed. Her not being complete shark chow when Ava comes running into the bathroom just doesn't make sense. After this, we learn about a grimoire that can be used to defeat the shark, but before Ava can get to it, it gets stolen from a maritime museum by Finch. She and her designated boyfriend, who is barely enough of a character for me to remember his name, go to track him down. This is not before the mayor's son, and later his aide, get killed by the ghost shark. A first attempt to kill the ghost shark seems to work at first. In fact, Ava manages to stab a ghost, which is pretty cool. But right when they think they got it, Finch ends up with 2 of his fingers bitten off. So, obviously, a plan B is in order. Designated boyfriend character suggests blowing up the cave, which Finch rejects. Turns out his wife, and yeah, that was his wife in the picture I mentioned earlier, had died in that cave, and it was his fault. Oh, hell, I'll just say it. He killed her. They were both drunk and fighting, and she had tried to hit him with something that was stone or metal, but still, he held her under the water in the mystical cave, the same one that created the shark. So yeah, he may feel guilty about what he did, and he thinks he's saving her spirit by not letting Ava and the others destroy the cave, but I'm thinking he needs to die if he's going to get his redemption in this movie. In fact, shortly after Ava and the others manage to steal some explosives from a demolition site, Finch gets a supernatural sign from his dead wife that in fact they do need to destroy the cave. And that's what they end up doing, though not before Finch gets eaten by the shark. That was unexpected, actually. I figured when the rain started and put out the fuse for the explosives, that he was going to end up going into the cave and detonating them by hand. Might have been a better ending for him, to be honest, but oh well. Ava ends up risking herself to relight the fuse from closer to the cave's entrance, where the rain can't get to it, and there was a moment there when it looked like she was a goner, which would have been a bold move for the movie to make, to be sure, but it doesn't feel cheap when she survives, so I'll allow it. And our surviving heroes celebrate by swimming. Not what I would have done, but okay. Random thoughts I had while watching the movie. One really annoying thing about trying to get images for this movie is that Google Images kept giving me results for a movie named Ouija Shark. Or Ouija, or... Honestly, I've heard it pronounced both ways. You know the thing I'm talking about with the Ouija boards and all that. And the translucent killer shark from that movie looks almost exactly the same as the one from this movie. And now you know why you were seeing caps from my Windows Media Player again. Apparently, this movie has a sequel. A sequel whose subtitle is Urban Jaws. I am not kidding. I am also not going to be talking about it since it isn't in this set. And I am also thinking, and this is something that I only started thinking when I started recording this episode, maybe that is what the plot summary on Letterboxd was talking about. Like, someone accidentally put the summary for the sequel on the page for the first one. If I'm wrong, don't bother telling me, I don't care. The only way I'm talking about Ghost Shark 2 Urban Jaws is if I get a $32 level patron on my Patreon, patreon.com/Arkle Studios, and someone requests it. At one point in the movie, the story of the Roanoke colony is brought up. Amazingly, people still believe the story of it just disappearing and nobody knowing what happened to its people. Like, we know that they didn't actually vanish, right? Guess it's just easier to believe that some supernatural force spirited away 115 people, as opposed to those people getting tired of their absent leadership and going to live with a nearby native tribe. Fucking white people, man. The mayor character in this movie is a bit like the mayor from Jaws. If the mayor from Jaws went out on the boat with Hooper and the others, hoping to kill the shark himself. It does not end well for him. A surprising number of children end up dead in this movie. And I don't mean like adults playing teenagers, I mean kids. Possibly more than any other horror movie I've covered in this whole series. On screen, I mean. Obviously, for post-apocalyptic stuff like Warriors of the Wasteland or Last Man on Earth, obviously tons of kids died before the events of the movie take place. Seriously though, what was up with that Letterboxd summary? And why was I too lazy to just go and find another one? Time for this episode's cool shark fact. Nurse sharks are exceptionally sedentary, unlike most other shark species. Nurse sharks show strong sight fidelity, typical of reef sharks, and it is one of the few shark species known to exhibit mating sight fidelity, as they will return to the same breeding grounds time and time again. Final verdict? This movie is actually pretty good. If anything, maybe a little too good in places. A lot of the character stuff almost feels like it belongs in a straight-up good movie as opposed to a cheesy fun movie. Especially one that was made for Sci-Fi Channel, because, yeah, just like Santa Jaws, this one was made for TV. Although, a lot bloodier than Santa Jaws. I'm kind of surprised they got away with that. It's a little distracting, I won't lie. But once the ghost shark's body count really starts to ramp up, the creative ways the filmmakers shoot the kills, or have them happen, are something I think any fan of cheesy horror movies would enjoy. Though, it just occurred to me while I was writing this script that the majority of the victims in this movie are either fat or women. That's a little problematic. that's it for Ghost Shark. Tune in next time when we talk about Mississippi River Shark. A lot of the movies on this set seem to be taking place in the American South for some reason. Sort of a secondary theme there. Well, anyway, have fun, stay safe.